Hi friends, Mad Maggie is the new legend in Apex Legends Season 12, and I know a lot of people want to know the details behind her abilities. For example, what's the cooldown for her ultimate, how much damage does her tactical do, and all of that good stuff. So I'm going to talk you through some of the key things you need to know about how to play Mad Maggie. Let's start with her passive ability, Warlord's Ire. This ability has two effects. Firstly, it gives you the ability to see the outline of anyone you damage for a small amount of time, but only for a few seconds. They are visible through walls and obstacles, but it's not a full-on wall hack, not for the amount of time something like a Bloodhound scan gives you, but it is definitely useful. I also find this kind of helps my aim as well, because you can see the outline a lot better of the enemy. I seem to hit more shots when I can see this. The second part of this passive is that Maggie can run at full speed while holding a shotgun. Now this is really great for anyone that's good with a shotgun, because this means you can run and slide at normal running speed, while other legends have to put their guns away to be able to do this. And that should give you a slight advantage when you're trying to chase someone down. It's not a speed boost as some people thought, it's just a normal run speed, as if you had your weapon holstered. So you won't be able to chase down a stimming Octane or grappling Pathy any faster than any other running legend could. The main benefit of this comes in that you skip the time it takes to pull your unholstered weapon out. So this can give you a good few seconds advantage over your opponents that you're chasing down, who would have to then pull out their unholstered gun. The other benefit is that you can strafe a lot faster with Maggie and a shotgun, because you have no speed penalty compared to other legends. And I have found it a lot easier to avoid shots and 1v1 when I'm Maggie with a shotgun. And I'm not going to lie, this will take a bit of practice in terms of running with your shotgun out, because it's like a natural instinct in Apex Legends to have to put away your gun if you want to run at full speed. But as your Mad Maggie, you can actually just leave your shotgun out and you have no movement penalty. Fun fact, Mad Maggie has a really cool custom pickup animation for the Mastiff, so keep a lookout for this next time you're picking up a Mastiff. Moving on to Mad Maggie's tactical, Riot Drill. You fire a drill that attaches to an obstacle and burns enemies on the other side. This tactical has a 22-second cooldown time. It takes 1 second to activate after readying up and deals up to 160 damage in 9 seconds. Of course, that's only if the enemy stands in front of the tactical for the full 9 seconds. It doesn't slow them down though, so they can just move out of the way once it hits them. Of course, this 160 damage is also reduced depending on the level of the helmet an opponent has, and also if they're a fortified legend. So for example, a Gibraltar with a gold helmet will take a lot less damage than a Wraith with a white helmet. Once the drill attaches, it can't be destroyed, by the way. The thickness of the wall or object that you're targeting this tactical with also affects how big the effect of the flame is. If the wall is thicker, you get a smaller flame on the other side, meaning there's less surface area to deal damage to enemies. But if the wall's thinner, then obviously you get a bigger flame on the other side, so if you've got a couple of enemies stacked up behind a wall, then it'll be more likely to do damage. Oh yeah, and if you hit an enemy with this tactical, it will deal 5 damage before falling to the ground and then burning on the ground for 9 seconds. I would say this tactical has a fairly high skill ceiling. It's a great way to deal some initial damage or even finish off low enemies who are hiding behind objects to heal. It's even greater against camping legends. If you use this tactical right, it can be really effective. To start with, you can kind of use it like a thermite. Any situation where an enemy is behind an object or a door, instead of using a thermite, this tactical works in very much the same way, except instead of aiming for the floor next to someone, you want to be aiming through objects. The tactical does deploy in a straight line from where it's attached to an object, so you want to aim straight through the object, almost like you're shooting the enemy through the object. A great tip here is that you can use your passive to see where an enemy is behind an object, and you want to be firing the tactical as quickly as possible at the object before your passive highlight ability disappears. I mentioned camping legends. Mad Maggie's tactical is a great counter to many legend abilities. For example, you can fire this against the Gibraltar dome and it will pretty much damage anyone inside. You can also use it to damage someone behind a rampart wall. You can also fire this at a caustic barrel and it will attach to the caustic barrel, dealing damage to the caustic barrel and any player hiding on the other side of that barrel. The only ability that really counters this tactical, aside from an Horizon tactical, is Watson's ultimate. Watson's ultimate will destroy this tactical if you fire it within range and line of sight of Watson's ultimate. However, the trick here is to use it on the other side of the object or wall where the team with the Watson ult is hiding. If the Watson ult doesn't have line of sight to this tactical, then it won't stop it, meaning you can still deal damage to teams hiding with a Watson ult. Another tip is to use this as a mid to close range tool. You'll notice at long range it's got a massive drop off, so it's not going to be that effective at long range. The main exception is if you're landing it on top of a roof of a building, in which case it can deal downwards damage to people inside. Another thing to note is that your tactical will damage you but not your teammates. You'll also notice when you hold down the tactical button, you'll see depth before you fire. This is showing you the depth of the drill based on the object. A final tip for the tactical is that you can fire it while shooting or healing, so you don't need to stop your action just to use this tactical, much like Bangalore's Smoke or Revenant's tactical. Let's move on to Maggie's ultimate ability. You throw a ball that releases speed boosting pads and detonates near enemies, which has a 1.5 minute cooldown time, the same as an Octane jump pad by the way. The ball will bounce off the floor, walls and ceiling. It will drop speed boosting pads along its path in a zigzag pattern. Each of these speed boosting pads give you a 30% speed boost. That's the same as Bangalore's double time, but it is 10% less than Octane's stim. The speed boost itself from the pad lasts 3 seconds. The pads last 60 seconds after the ball explodes, so they do stick around for a good amount of time. When the ball finally explodes, if it hits someone, it will deal damage up to 20. Plus it also stuns enemies similar to a Bangalore ult. And in addition to all of this, it also bumps them in a certain direction if it does make impact with an enemy. It's worth noting that this speed boost doesn't stack with other movement abilities. It's a flat 30% maximum speed boost. What that means is, if you're Octane and you're already stimming, there's no point running onto the speed boosting pads because you won't go any faster. Overall, I'd say using this ultimate well does require a bit of skill and practice. The bounce part is a bit hard to get right, but if you do master it, you can reuse it in effective ways. And do just watch out for obstacles in front of you when you're using this ultimate. If you throw it in an obstacle that's right in front of you, it's going to bounce backwards and deploy the speed boost in the wrong direction. So just watch out for little things like that. And a tip can be to jump as you deploy it if you want to get it over an object. Another scenario this ultimate is particularly good for is with Gibraltar domes. If you can sneak inside a dome and launch it, it would basically bounce around inside the dome, and it would not only deal damage, but it can also bump the team out of the dome. Perfect if that team is using it for cover against the Gibraltar ult. I would say if you're Maggie with a shotgun, the speed boosting pads can make a big difference to the way that you strafe with a shotgun, and it can give you a big advantage in 1v1s. I'm personally a huge fan of speed boosts. One final thing I'll say about the ultimate is don't think of this as just an offensive tool though. It's really great for defensive situations. You can see in this clip I've just respawned my teammates, and I used the ultimate to help them get back to their loot faster so they can grab their stuff before the zone closes in. You can also use this if you're trying to get away from an enemy team faster, or if you're trying to get into the zone and it's a late zone and you don't want to take zone damage. And as I say that, it's also a great rotating tool in late rings. If you need to move into the zone and there's an enemy team watching you, this ult can make it easier for you and your team to rotate without taking too much damage. As you can see in this clip, I'm able to win the game because the speed boosting pads help me get towards the zone and also avoid the enemy fire and get close enough to deal damage where we can then win the game. And that's kind of all you need to know about Mad Maggie. In terms of playstyle, I'd say Mad Maggie suits a more aggressive playstyle. She's the kind of legend you want if you enjoy pushing buildings and pushing camping teams. She brings a lot of speed and energy to the team. So if you want to be aggressive as a team or individually, Mad Maggie is a great choice for you. I hope this helps. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.